Yeah. Well, you'll know our next guest as the former Shadow Chancellor, and of course for that infamous Gangnam-style performance on Strictly. But now Ed Balls has swapped the world of politics for TV presenting, and his latest project is very close to his heart.
Yes, now Ed's been taking a look at the state of our care system, meeting the patients, workers and carers tending to the needs of the most vulnerable. Here's what happened when he met Derek, who cares for his wife, Margaret.
I think lots and lots of people wouldn't be able to cope with doing what you do for their partner. Has there ever been a part of you which thought, maybe this has got to the point now where the burden should be... No?
Not if he's staying here with me until I drop. I'll drop before her. There's no way. I love her so much. I'll do anything. Whatever they say I've got to do, I don't give a monkeys. I'll do it. You know, I love her to bits. There is nothing on this planet I wouldn't do for her.
Oh, and Ed joins us now. Wow, Ed, that is so emotional. I was getting a little bit choked up there watching it. Did you struggle with filming any of that?
That day especially, actually, because in the first episode we are in care homes in Scarborough. I spent a fortnight working there. But in the second one, I do some time in domiciliary care, going house to house with a carer. We did 16 visits in one day between 7 in the morning, 9 at night. But then that day with Derek, we arrived at 7 in the morning and he and his wife were still in bed. He cares alone for his wife who has dementia until every day of the year, 24 hours a day. And we were with him all day until they went to bed. And the burden on him and the stress, I mean, what we ask of unpaid carers, it's astonishing. And actually, I felt like it was too much to expect of him, but it's what he wants to do. It's his dedication.
Yeah.
Incredible to hear that. And of course, your mum was diagnosed with dementia in her 70s, been in a care home for the past 3 years. How much of an inspiration was she for this series?
She was for me, but of course, in the pandemic, all the burden and the stress and the deaths which happened in our care homes was all over the news. I was a government minister when we didn't really get to grips with this. And so part of me was going in thinking, what's really going on and why has politics not sorted this out? But of course, as you said, my mum's been in a care home for 3 years. She was in a care home through the pandemic. We couldn't visit at all. My dad couldn't go. They had over half of the people on her wing in her care home lost their lives back in January. So I kind of went in, having seen it from the personal side, but also wanting to understand for all of us, what is care and why as a society we've never valued it properly?
Wow.
I mean, you must have experienced so much over this filming of this series. What's been your highlight, would you say?
My highlights? Well, I think, there is a moment at the end of the second series, which I won't ruin, but Betty, who is 80 and was with me at the seafront, she's still laughing now, and that's months later. And also, there's this moment in episode 1 when I went into the Scarborough care home, St Cecilia. It's 3 in the afternoon. The blinds were pulled down. Everybody was going, and there was, in a white suit, I thought Elvis had died in the 1970s. He lived on in Scarborough. And we had an hour of Heartbreak Hotel. 10 minutes later, Elvis took off his white suit, put back his uniform on, and Simon and I did the medication run for the afternoon. And that's what care staff do. They move from the fun to the serious. I think they probably, in the end, I would say, I worked with Cameron, John, Steph, Alison, incredibly dedicated, skilled carers who all felt that nobody understood what they did. They would all say, people think of us as just a carer, an unskilled job, and it would be very hard for most of us to do what they do. They're paid so little, and part of my, I think, job here is to say to all of us that we won't sort out social care unless we all start to say, teaching's important, nursing's important, policing's important, caring is important, and we should value this in the same way because it is as hard and as important to all of us.
Yeah, of course.
That comes across in the film, doesn't it?
Yeah, it
and
does.
Of course, we cannot have a chat with you and not talk about Strictly and
Of
your
course.
iconic and famous Gangnam
It was
Style.
years ago, let's be honest.
Hey,
but
it still lives with you, Ed, I'm telling you.
there's no escape.
You say that routine made the residents smile.
Well, look, I get emails and messages all the time. I know in my mum's care home on a wet February, when everybody's a bit down, get the YouTube on, put on me and catch you doing Gangnam Style. My mum, even now, she will roll her eyes. I think she kind of knows it's me. What's he doing now?
Yeah.
And you know,
Loved
in
it.
life, if you can do something which makes people smile, that's a really good thing.
Why not do it?
And if
Why
at the
not
same
do it?
time you can also do it in a way which changes things,
Yeah.
that's even better.
Of course. Oh, listen, Ed, thank you so much for
Cheers.
joining
Thank you
us
for having me.
this morning. And you can watch the second episode of Inside the Care Crisis with Ed Balls on Monday at 9 p.m. on BBC Two and iPlayer.